Wow. 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 I began as always in the matchless name of Jesus. This video is going to be doing my review of Arrow Season 3, Episode 20, The Fallen. Wow, this episode was... Wow, it was a bit of a doozy. Alright. This event... Okay, so we open up with Oliver just getting home, seeing Thea being impaled, mortally wounded, and then he calls the ambulance. They do the best they can to help her, to save her, but the doctors, nurses said they can't happen. That doesn't seem like it could happen. So it apparently says that Oliver, after hearing some news from Malcolm, realizes that the only thing that they can do is take her to Nanda Parbat, where she can be brought back to life via the Lazarus pits. And Felicity goes to Ray to ask for a jet. And during that time, Ray just breaks up with Felicity, and while they're on the jet, Oliver just talks about how Oliver just speaks about the fact that he returned to Starling City during his 5 years away. The scenes we saw from the return. It talks about how he killed Thea's drug dealer in self-defense. And then after that we get to and then we get to see and then when they get there, they see the whole freaking League of Assassins out there. And they see Al-Ghul saying, "Hello, Al-Sahim. Take your place," or something like that. And so they put Thea in some white cloth. They lower her into Lazarus pits. She comes out. She seems insane, and they put her to sleep. And then when she wakes up, she sees she is very confused, and they said the confusion would be temporary. So, and then they go back. So meanwhile, Maseo talks to Diggle, and Diggle just calls him out on just joining the League after the death of his son. And then also Felicity speaks to Al-Ghul, and then Raz talks about how he just had to left the love of his life without saying goodbye, and he tells Felicity to do the same before she has to leave. And here is the hugest Olicity moment ever. Just so you guys know, I'm a very huge Olicity shipper, so okay, well, I shipped Sarah and Oliver and Sarah's my first ship, but since that one's never gonna happen, I'm gonna go I've been shipping Olicity so far, and what comes next was awesome. And so Oliver and Felicity comes in, and Oliver's like, everything that's happened has brought me to this place. And then Oliver takes off her glasses, and then what comes next is a love scene. Very excellent love scene. Felicity is officially canon now. And so then a little bit later, after that, something like an after morning sort of thing, they drink some wine, and then all of a sudden, it turns out Felicity drugged her, so that way they could take him and get out of the place. And then Maseo decides to help out, and they keep on running until all of a sudden they are stopped by a bunch of League of Assassin cronies. By the way, and Thea is still a little confused, and Felicity's like, and Felicity's like, is trying to comfort Thea or something like that, and then League of Assassins cronies come in. Then Oliver wakes up and gets them to back the heck off, and they're like, all right, they have to go. And then they leave off to go they have to go back. They're walking out, and Diggle says and Oliver says goodbye to both Felicity, Diggle, Thea, and then he goes back and says, Ra's al Ghul is pretty clear that he wants to go and send everybody away. Wants to go after the people who killed him. Who go after the people who murder. Who tried to help him escape. And then Oliver says he doesn't want them to do that. And then Maseo admits that he helped them. And then Ra's al Ghul pardons that, decides not to kill him because that was just him not acting like Sarab at that point. He was just... So, by the way, Sarabis is a league name. So, and then Oliver reminds him of their agreement that he's upholding it, and then he undergoes a rigorous transformation where he's branded with an arrow mark. You know, if you watch the TV show, there's this... Normally this opening title, like where it says arrow, normally there's this green like hose in it. Here it's more like a Asian like hose or something like that. I think that's the reason why that was part of the title credits or something like that. It was just to show the differences, show what Oliver gets branded with when he becomes part of the League of Assassins. So... And it also signifies the theme of the season, identity. So, and we see that Oliver is just... We learned that Oliver Hashashim, assassin comes from the word Hashashim, and they're set apart. That's why the League of Assassins is separated from the rest of society in Nanda Parbat. So, and then they are a part of it. And then he is given the Dark League of Assassins gear. And he is branded and he is known as Al-Sahim, which is Arabic for the arrow. So, and by the way, before Felicity and Oliver leave, Oliver says "I love you" to him, and then when they get back, Felicity gets back to Starling City. They meet Laurel, and Felicity tells him that Oliver Queen is gone. And then Felicity tells Laurel that Oliver Queen is gone, and Laurel comforts her. So that's pretty much every. And by the way, also Thea wakes up back in the loft with Malcolm Merlin. It seems like she's remembering stuff better. That Ra's al Ghul entered her house, stuff like that. And then we realize, which is good. So I was glad that Thea started remembering things. So. But although the people who create the writers say that she has a long while to recover, well, I hope the sooner she comes to recovering, the better. And then, because I want her, and anyways, I just want to see her become Speedy. But more on that later. Anyway, that's all. Okay, so anyways, this was an excellent episode. I loved all the Olicity moments. All of them. It is so good to know that Olicity is now canon. Nothing will be the same for that ship anymore. I will have to give... Oh, I need to also add the flashbacks. Flashbacks we're trying to stop were all about... Had an amazing car chase scene. And then we also had... Had the... Then we had... And then we had them, they were going after some bad guys, and they finally destroyed the Omega file weapon. So, I wonder where things go from now, here in the flashback. So, anyways, this was an excellent episode. For courtesy of the Olicity moments, and some of the excellent attempted escape scene, all that stuff, I have to give this thing a 10 out of 10. Good, excellent episode. And I will have to give this thing it is so good to know that Olicity is now canon. I can't wait for the next episode to come. And I have to also say, it's great that, Oliver become part of the League of Assassins, because I think that's very necessary for his arc or identity crisis. And I can't wait to see what comes from there. Again, I give this thing a 10 out of 10. Excellent episode. Can't wait to see what happens next week. Alright, that's all for this video.